Hello everyone, my name is Sahil and I welcome you at Unacademy. So guys, in the today's video, we are going to discuss a very important topic. So as you can see on the screen, almost all the newspapers have carried this news item that the tech companies around the world are carrying massive layoffs, and Indian workers, the Indian high-skilled IT workers are one of the most impacted by these layoffs that have been carried by the tech companies. So in this video, we are going to discuss that what are the reasons that the tech companies are going for these layoffs, how it is going to impact Indian diaspora and all these particular things. And this topic is going to be important for GS paper number 3, issues related to Indian economy, and GS paper number 2, issues related to Indian diaspora. So let's understand this issue in more detail. So guys, first of all, we have seen that the big tech giants such as the Amazon, Meta, Intel, Twitter, and even financial corporations such as Citi, Morgan Stanley, they have announced massive layoffs. Around 2 lakh people have been removed from their jobs in last 2 to 3 months. And ShareChat has also joined this particular spree. And here if I show you the newspaper cutting from the Hindu newspaper, we see this thing that this laid off had particularly impacted the Indian IT professionals. Okay, so here we see this thing that around here we see this particular thing that as per some industry insiders, it has been provided that around 30 to 40% of people, 30 to 40% of the people who have been sacked, they are Indians who went on USA on H1B visa. H1B visa. So H1B visa is issued by USA to high skilled professionals, and most of the H1B visa recipients are Indians. So Indians, 30 to 40% Indians have been sacked from their jobs, and now they are facing one more particular problem, is that if they will not find new job in the time, then their visa will also not be renewed and they have to come back. I want to tell you here one thing very clearly, that today India is the world's largest recipient of the foreign exchange. And because if these high skilled professionals will come back India, so India's foreign remittances will also go down, and India's current account deficit consequently will also going to become worse. So let's understand this entire issue. So first of all, we use the word layoff. So layoff simply means a temporary or permanent termination of employment by an employer. Okay, now when we talk about the layoffs, okay, now the reasons for such removals are not particularly related to performance of an employee, that employee was not good performing. This is not the reason. Okay, now these layoffs largely are carried so that the company can become more financially viable. Okay, let's understand that what are the possible reasons for all these particular trends. But before that guys, I would like to tell you about Unacademy's UPSC CSE GS courses, which you can join to make your journey more meaningful. Guys, when we talk about the UPSC, the competition has become really cutthroat, and in this competition you need to have a distinct advantage, and that advantage can be given by Unacademy by its specially curated courses. And Unacademy has also come out with 20% 20% discount offer for this Republic Day. This you can immediately join, and you can avail the a lot of savings. So you can enroll in 18 month 18-month subscription, you can take 12-month subscription, you can take, and you can see that the massive savings can be availed. Moreover, you can avail both the plus as well as iconic courses, as well as plus combo also you can avail. Okay, and to avail this offer you can use my code Sahil 29, Sahil 29. Moreover, now Unacademy has also launched Arambh batch, which is going to be a dedicated batch for 2024. And the best thing of the batch is that it is going to be a bilingual course. And here you get an opportunity to get educated by India's top educators. This batch is starting from 27th January 2023. So time is running, and even you have the Republic Day offer. So immediately you can take the advantage of this particular opportunity. Moreover, all the courses at Unacademy are available at 0% EMI option, because at Unacademy we believe that paying capacity should never be a constraint in good quality learning. So you can contact at this number and my team will guide you with the bare minimum formalities. And Unacademy is also coming in Old Rajendra Nagar in offline format, where again you are going to get an opportunity to get educated by the top educators, and early bird discount offer is also going on, which you can avail. Fine. Now moving on, guys, and coming back to the topic, that why the layoffs are being carried by the tech sector. So there are some potential reasons that we have. Let's discuss them one by one. First reason is economic recession. Now guys, see this particular thing. Many of the reports have been released which have predicted that 2023 is going to be the period of a recession. Growth will be subdued. GDPs of the countries are going to be stagnant, or if they'll grow at a very marginal rate. Okay, and as this economic recession is coming, it is going to impact largely the IT firms, and as there is the slowdown, IT companies, in order to save their cost, in order to reduce their spending, are taking these preemptive measures to lay off people. Now, if you remember, guys, yesterday we have seen the World Economic Forum. Okay, now when we talk about the World Economic Forum, guys, World Economic Forums, here we see that World Economic Forum's chief economist, fine, chief economist outlook very clearly provided that two-third of the countries in 2023 are going to face economic recession. So as a preemptive step, the tech companies are laying off the people so that they can be financially viable. Even World Bank, International Monetary Fund, they have also cautioned that such steps, so that the countries need to be prepared. Further, there is one very big issue that is also responsible to these layoffs, and particularly it has impacted the Meta. Okay, Meta's platforms, Facebook, Instagram, etc. So what happened, guys? Apple has brought certain changes in its iOS operating system. So Apple has came with a new feature, that is app tracking transparency. Now, under this app tracking transparency, Apple gives an option to the users that if they don't want the apps to track their activity, they will withdraw that consent. Now see this thing. Then when we talk about the Facebook, okay, Facebook's major revenue comes from targeted advertisement. Okay, now as you are using Facebook, Facebook is actively tracking your activity. By that, it makes a kind of a psychological profile and shows a targeted ads to you. But now, after this update of Apple that has come, people might not give permission to Facebook to track their activity. And if Facebook cannot track their activity, how the Facebook is going to show the targeted advertisement? So the ad revenue of Facebook is going down. And it has been provided that Facebook, now this is a report by CNBC, which provides that the Facebook is going to suffer $10 billion of revenue loss, and this was for 2022 alone. So this is huge loss, and therefore Facebook is laying off large number of tech workers. And this thing has impacted largely Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, because all of them are dependent on targeted ad revenue. Okay, and this is the losses that all of them have faced. And in response, what Meta has done, Meta has sacked around 11,000 employees, which constitutes around 13% of its global workforce. So this is a very important reason in this particular direction. Then further moving on, there are other reasons also. So guys, we see this thing that around the world, inflation has increased largely. And if I give you some estimates, in 2020, USA had faced 40 years of worst inflation. And now, first of all, why this inflation is increasing, we need to know their reasons. Number one, after effects of pandemic. Now you see this particular thing that when pandemic was going on, countries gave huge fiscal stimulus. Countries gave huge fiscal stimulus, a lot of money was pumped. Now, as this money flew, what happened? And moreover, during the pandemic, we see that interest rates also came very much down. Interest rates came very much down. So money supply increased in economy, and because of that particular thing, inflation has indirectly increased. And secondly, Russia-Ukraine war. So as Russia-Ukraine war is going on, critical supply chains got disrupted, oil supplies got disrupted, and it is also increasing the inflation. Majorly, the cost push inflation is increasing because of the Russia-Ukraine war that is going on. Now guys, as inflation has increased, what countries are doing? Largely the central banks of the different countries, they are going for rapid interest rate hikes. And we have seen successively, Federal Reserve, the central bank of USA, has also hiked the interest rates. Now as they are hiking the interest rates, at the end of the day, it is impacting growth. It is impacting growth. So because of that particular thing also, these tech companies are facing a lot of problems. Okay, then consumer demand have also reduced. Now let's understand this particular point, that how consumer demand got reduced. Now guys, you see this particular thing today, there is rising inflation around the world, and as inflation is rising, consumers outlook is getting impacted. We see this particular thing, that consumer demand is also, now see, as inflation increases, it impacts the paying capacity of a consumer, and when consumer's paying capacity will be impacted, a consumer will spend only on the essential things, and the products that are being offered by the tech companies, okay, which many number of times are products of leisure or such kind of a thing, they will be avoided. This is something that is going on. So basically, as demand has dampened by the consumers, it has reduced the profitability of these companies. Particularly the startups have also got impacted. So edtech startups in India and e-commerce startups in India has also got impacted because of the reduced consumer demand due to high inflation that has come. And today, as a preemptive step, cost cutting operations are being taken by the companies, including these layoffs. Okay, moreover, there is also one more reason that has come here, is that guys, basically the large investors, venture capitalists, which are active investors and which hold a lot of clout in these tech companies, they are pushing a lot of pressure on these companies to cut their cost because of the global slowdown, because of the inflation, because of the global gloom that is there. Okay, now according to a report by Reuters, it has been said that the Google has carried a lot of reduction fine in the employees, and it is because of the investor pressure to adopt to a more aggressive strategy to curb their spending. So because of the investors pressure also, the corporates, tech companies are reducing the number of employees. Okay, so this is a very big issue, and Indian tech sector, Indian startup sector, particularly the edtech sector, is also facing the same kind of phenomena. Then further moving on guys, we also have seen that there was excessive over hiring that also happened during time of pandemic. So we have seen when pandemic was going on, lockdown was announced, and as the lockdowns was announced, demand for demand for example, you take this particular thing, people started to spend more time on YouTube. Okay, people started to spend more time on YouTube. Okay, edtech edtech sector saw a kind of a boom. Edtech sector saw a kind of a boom. Okay, so people were actually spending a lot of time on internet, and therefore the internet tech based companies, they have to hire a lot many people to scale up this new demand that came. Moreover, there was a speculation that this new pattern, new behavior where people are spending so much time on internet, it is going to stay even after the pandemic also. Particularly edtech sector were very positive about that thing. So therefore they did over hiring. They did over hiring to because of this consumption upsurge that was there. But today guys, we see this particular thing, that post pandemic inflation is going up, growth is less, people have reverted back to their old behaviors. They are not spending that much time on internet which they were doing on during the time of the lockdown. So many of the tech companies, many of the companies in social media arena, they are now basically going off for these layoffs. Okay, now what is going to be the possible impact on India? How India will be impacted by this particular development? So guys, first of all, if you remember, we have seen this particular newspaper article from the Hindu. Now this particular article very clearly provides this particular thing. Just let me clear this slide. Yes. So it has been provided that thousands of Indian IT professionals find they have lost their jobs after the layoff by Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon. Okay, and out of the total people who have been removed, okay, it has been said that nearly 2 lakh IT workers, okay, according to the Washington Post, 2 lakh IT workers have been removed, and out of these 2 lakh, 30 to 40% of the workers are Indians. Okay, so they are facing economic crisis there. Now, guys, when we talk about the Indian economy, when we talk about Indian economy, IT sector, information technology, and ITES, that is ITES, that is IT enabled services. These are two major components in Indian economy. Moreover, a lot of remittances that are coming in India, they are also coming from the people who are involved in IT and ITES sector abroad. Okay, this is something. Okay, even a lot of basically when we talk about India's GDP, a substantial portion of Indian GDP comes from service sector, including the business process outsourcing. So as these layoffs are going on, okay, India's service sector, which contributes majorly to Indian economy, is going to get impacted very negatively by this particular development. Okay, so this is something that is going on. Moreover, as people who have been laid off, they are facing they have a particular time challenge also. They need to find new jobs in USA before their visa expires. So see this thing, that USA gives H1B visa. H1B visa are given to high skilled professionals. It is given to high skilled professionals, and the majority of the H1B visa, they are availed by Indians because of their good skill based in the IT services. So if they don't get the job in the time mean, fine, they need to come back. And already we see this particular thing, that as per periodic labor force survey report, unemployment rate in India is 4.2%. So in India itself, jobs are not there. So how these people will get accommodated? This is going to be a very big challenge. Okay. Moreover, one more thing I have told you, that we see this thing, that India's current account deficit is already bad. However, it gets a little bit moderated when foreign remittances come in India. So these foreign remittances that were coming, they will also get impacted. See this thing, Indian workers, when we talk about it, we can categorize them in two categories. One are the workers, fine, which have majorly migrated, or the Indian diaspora, which have majorly migrated to the Gulf, Middle East, etc. Their people are largely involved into the blue collar jobs, but the Indian diaspora, or the Indian people that migrated to Western Europe and US, there they are involved into the white collar jobs largely. Okay, and they actually contribute a huge remittances from there as well. So it is going to get impacted. Okay, then guys, it will also, this issue, it will also lead to psychological as well as financial damages to the families, communities of these people. So it also lead to a sociological impact. There will also be a social impact of this particular development. Okay, then when we talk about, guys, the companies, these companies are also going to get impacted by this particular development. How the companies will be impacted? Now, number one, as these layoffs are going on, basically it impacts the company's reputation also on multiple fronts. Number one, company's reputation gets impacted in the eyes of their existing employees, because they think that a company is not a reliable employer. Then such layoffs also deteriorate consumer confidence. People think, for example, particularly, guys, when we talk about the startups, when they are going for such aggressive layoffs, consumers even think that the financial health of the corporate might not be good. So even the consumers' confidence and existing employees' confidence gets impacted. Moreover, there are the chances that the productivity of the employees who are working, it will also go down. So the confidence of the people who are working, it will also be getting impacted because of the fear of the job loss that will be there. So guys, that is all about this particular topic, and I hope that you have understood that how it is going to impact, it is going to have impact on multiple levels. So that is all about it. Guys, if you have liked, please do hit the like button, please do leave your lovely comments, and please do subscribe to the channel. So that is all for today. Thank you so much.